Tommy Torettic. See, I don't like doing this, but I'm gonna teach you a little bit about the world. Yeah. Let's go. Welcome to the shop of Anonymous. I swear I don't want anything to do with this, I promise this. You hear me screaming from the top, I'm dropping knowledge. A barrel's too far gone for a rookie, so I'm calling this. Game over for you, trumps the grind is all I know and do. Breathing fire like a dragon's or new power coming through. Yeah, I'm working 3 jobs so that I can frack that fool. The money you dummy in front of no honey, can take that love from me. Going to the future and never coming back. Marty McFly, now more like his dad. Trying to be calm, all this news is just whack. Propaganda flying, so know everybody mad. Empathy is gone, so we all for attack. If you disagree, you're just stupid and sad. Use intolerance, or must be smoking crack. Ignorance is bliss, y'all, just to die, yeah. 2 sides of the same coin, killer. Why we ever stop living up for pillars? Acting like everything in life must be a thriller. We living in a world written by Frank Miller, cause the dark nights return, so now we churn. See our heroes messed up and now we spurn them because it pisses us off and now we burn their careers alive to the ground, cause we yearn to be in that position so that we earn millions and millions and millions, but then we turn it to the very thing we hate. Now we revert and we refer to the lines that we rehearse. Spread love and forgiveness only to sink deeper. What did we learn? Extract myself from the world. Water, earth, fire, air, swirl. Bend it to your will, then hurl. Flying buffalo, why don't you give it a whirl? Grab a saber, then just twirl. Force cut a pear, give her a pearl. Power unleashes a churl. Join the dark side with me. Guess it's time I get back to work. Captain of my own enterprise, call me Kirk. Anger and depression always seem to lurk. Round every corner, so I write this just a perk. Everybody moved up, cause we screwed up. Living in a country where we shoot up. Anybody disagree, just to move up the food chain where you grew up. Otherwise they beat you down cause you used up. Time to boot up, new mindset program. Think you knew us, but you shoe us. You only care about us to subdue us, just to screw us. Living in a country full of Judas. Stab you in the back, USA or Brutus. Call them Lucius. Bringing out the dark night, now we tuned up. Time to scoop up any positivity. While the masses all left clueless. They can only catch your speed, Mr. New One's opportunist. Leave them naked in the ground, talking ruthless. I am ruthless. Visions full of kid grown ghoulish, broken ruthless. Spitting proverbs like Confucius, call me Tommy Torettic or Nostradamus. Who this? Who this? Who this? Who this? Who this? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Live streaming directly into your homes and phones via Facebook and the HWWS WebTV channel on YouTube. This is episode 28 of Lights Under Action. I'm Thomas Carter Rochester, a.k.a. the old son of Dale.
And I'm David Thompson. And today we have quite the show for you guys. There's been a lot of news happening lately on all of our shows. Last week we took a break from the news. We talked about The Boys Season 2, and now we're back talking about the news. We've got a lot compiled up to break down for you, talk about, share our analysis, share our thoughts. And in the end, I have to talk about a few things when it comes to the latest Spider-Man rumors. We're going to get into all of that. So we're not burying the lead. We are a bit. we are a bit when it comes to, because some of the biggest news in recent memory has been about Spider-Man 3, everything happening with that film. We're going to get to that in the end. Thomas, how are you doing today, buddy?
I am alive, David. I have made it to Monday. We're on Monday. Yes. I cannot wait for a day off, which is like 2 weeks away, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
I lost track of days. I'll be real with you. I'm doing absolutely great. Ladies and gentlemen, just get your ears ready. Oh, that's made of
beauty.
It's a bloody beauty. I mean, look, that's, I've got plenty of hammers, but this is a hammer.
I like your Irish Thor.
Well, no. That's it's definitely Crocodile Dundee, mate. This is a hammer. But regardless of my bad accent, or maybe it was good, I don't know. I'll find out when I listen to this in the future. David, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I can't wait to get to the end of this episode because I want to talk about some things. But I'm doing good overall. Had a nice 3-day weekend, going back to work tomorrow. So this is kind of capping off my nice 3-day weekend. So very happy to be here. we've got some good news today, which is a nice thing. It's not all bad. Some of it's just weird. Some of it's a little fun.
I don't think we have any bad news. No. It's just weird and good. Perfect for our show.
Yeah. Perfect.
Spoiler alert, AMC's in the headlines. So shocking. Welcome to Lights, Thunder, Action.
That is what I would tease is probably the only potentially bad news. Not necessarily good. A little weird, but yeah. The Colts won. Happy about that. Your Cowboys play tonight. We'll see how they do with Andy Dalton at the helm.
As long as we feed Zeke, we should be okay. But our offensive line is kind of down to literally undrafted free agents and practice squad guys. So
yeah,
I'm not worried. What are you talking about? You're worried.
I'm not worried. But hey, if you don't want to listen to the football game, you can always find our audio podcast of all of our episodes later. We normally post them about 48 hours or less after we go live on Facebook and YouTube. You can find our audio version of all of our shows. All this will be 28 after today on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify.
Yes, and as I said at the top of the show, we always stream right here live and in your home and phone on our Facebook page, Lights, Thunder, Action Show, as well as the HWWS WebTV channel on YouTube. And I mean, we're already here, so you can also find fun clips and jokes, and definitely you'll be able to find David's rant on the Spider-Rant, as I'm calling it, on our Instagram at Lights, Thunder, Action, all one word, no hyphens, no spaces, and of course, our YouTube channel, which is Lights, Thunder, Action, ! And that is where we post all of our clips, our teasers, and little fun things like Thor's thoughts, it's going to come back. You know what? I'm just going to make that. I'm going to make this declaration, and I'm not going to back out of this one. It's coming back.
All right. I mean,
I've been listening to so many Star Wars audiobooks, bro. I wanted to take this moment to be like, if you have not read and or listened to Lords of the Sith, dude.
That one.
It's so good. Like you find out about Cham Syndulla, which is almost the real beginning of the the rebellion, and you also find out some fun nuances between Vader and Palpy, and Palpy.
That's what they should have called it.
That's what they should have called
Palpy.
Vader and Palps. It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah.
David, have you been watching or listening to anything other than football, ball foot?
I'm trying to think. Nothing really lately. Me and Jasmine watched some bad movie the other night. I don't remember what it was called though. So nothing to like recommend or anything like that. But no, not really. YouTube, I'm trying to think. There's got to be something that I've been watching that I just can't think of right now. But whatever, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is not worth remembering. So no worries.
That is a spicy web. I'm going to be real, David. I'm upset. I didn't realize I deleted the spicy web from the overlays.
Oh, you did?
I did. So there's no spicy web to flash on your face every time you get mad today, which is going to be a lot. So it's probably good for anyone who would like audio sensory, video sensitive. You know what I'm trying to say, right?
I do know what you're trying to say.
Yes. I don't know the words, but I actually have it. So that helps. That leads us to everybody's favorite segment of every day and or week. What the news?
And let's get right to it, ladies and gentlemen. We're starting off with a great news.
Mando!
This, honestly, I wanted to just talk about this. The news is minimal. I just wanted to say Mandalorian Season 2 is coming October 30th, and I'm officially ready for it. I'm officially ready for Mandalorian. This will be me on October 30th, and I can't wait. Should I leave him in the shot somewhere? I don't think I can, but
you should hang him on the wall. I should have brought my Amazon Echo over here because it's in the Baby Yoda holder.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Yoda Baby Yeet. I gotta get back into character. It's Baby Yeet.
The child, as they like to call it.
No, it's whatever. You know what's great? Real quick side. Next month, my sideshow collectible of life-size Baby Yoda comes in. And I am.
Holy crap! I forgot you ordered that.
Me too. So yeah, I'm very excited about that.
I'm gonna hold my baby Yoda for the duration of this topic.
All right. Well, it's time.
So the news, it not just that Mandalorian's coming October 30th. Get ready for Thor watches. Everyone excited. It'll actually be something coming out that's new, and we'll get a lot of viewership, and there's just gonna be a lot of excitement around it, which is awesome, and I just can't wait. But on top of that, to get even more hype for this franchise, coming to us from Variety, we are already hearing talks and are getting confirmations that season 3 is going to start filming by the end of the year. So not even 2021, where we're hearing about a lot of other shows and TV shows, and movies, I should say, that are going to start filming in 2021. Mandalorian season 3 is going to start filming this year. So here is the excerpt I wanted to read from Variety. Executive producer and showrunner Jon Favreau told Variety that The Mandalorian is on schedule to start production on season 3 of the series before the end of the year. So that the whole article on Variety gets into it. It's kind of an interview, and it gets into a whole bunch of different other things about just the show and the production and all these sort of things. So it's a pretty good article. I'd go ahead and read it. But the main news in this section of What the News is that they're already gearing up, ready to roll for season 3, hoping we get season 3 in about a year. I think that's kind of their plan, is to pump these seasons out annually, which is awesome for us. There's even a part in this article where kind of the other news point is that they kind of touch on whether they should make it a movie or not, Mandalorian, if they should ever. Did you see this, Thomas?
Oh, yeah, I did. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah,
they basically left it up to, we'll see what happens.
Exactly. They talked about if Mandalorian should ever become a movie, and it was kind of like, maybe Favreau spoke on his experience with Marvel and how this feels different, but also how he could take what he's learned there and maybe move it into that. I'd personally, even though I'm the one that always hypes up movies over TV shows, I think Mandalorian works well as a TV show, and I think it's found its niche, and it's like for Disney Plus, as from a Disney point of view, business wise, which we'll get into soon. Mandalorian is a cash cow when it comes to Disney Plus, because it's the reason why a lot of people even have that streaming service, and I've kept it for the last year. Same. I mean, that in Clone Wars, I guess, but nothing else.
Clone Wars. Yes.
I don't even know what. I've watched some old Disney movies, like animated films, occasionally throughout the past year of having Disney Plus, but like Mandalorian and really the Star Wars in general is why I've had Disney Plus. And then I guess the Marvel gallery, but I have all the Blu-rays, so it's not like a huge deal.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, same. I've not watched any Marvel. I've watched Marvel cartoons from back in the day. We're running out of time on this topic, but I wanted to say, I don't know if we covered this. I don't remember when it came out, but Kenobi is supposed to be filming in March. I think we, because it's been 2 weeks since we actually did a news segment. I was talking to you in the middle of a workout, and I was messaging you, and I said, and this was before the Mando season 3 news came out, that they could film Mandalorian season 3 now. They finished filming in March for season 2, right before COVID hit. They literally had wrapped production, and now it's coming out at the end of October. That is 7 months to edit an 8-episode series. If you start filming in March and you have, say, 4 episodes, your film time is cut in half. Your editing time should be cut in half. They theoretically can put this out right after Mando season 3, and they could just hit us with Mando season 3 and then Kenobi.
I imagine on that point, they would take like at least like a month or 2 gap just to give us some just to build some hype, give us a little breathing room, and just to keep people interested over a longer stretch of time. And we don't, at that point, we'll have MCU shows going, so they have to work those in. You could sprinkle one in or the other. I think it could be cool even if it starts showing in like February, like after Mandalorian or something. But that's true. If they wanted to go back to back, they probably could, depending on how much post they'll have to do in that show. I think the episodes will be longer because it's shorter. So I think I'm not sure if it will be that much of a shortened post-production timeline with Kenobi, just because I don't think it's going to be like 30 to 40 minute 4 episodes. I think it's going to be like an hour long 4 episodes, almost like Snyder Cut of Justice League. But
Yes.
nevertheless, I mean, yeah, like we've been saying over and over again, the floodgates are going to open up at some point in 2021, 2022, 2023 with all this entertainment that's getting piling up, because the problem right now is that outside of streaming, which is great, we're getting Mandalorian, but there's a lot of content being created because they're figuring out how to film, but they have not figured but things aren't coming out in theaters. So it's kind of something to stockpile.
You know what was supposed to come out in theaters that is now it's gonna be on the Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Soul, which I'm very excited for. I know nothing about it, but I'm ready.
You haven't watched the trailer?
I've seen the trailer. I've seen a teaser trailer. I've seen enough. I'm like, I want to watch that.
Yeah. Soul looks great. So here's the news for Soul. It is, as Thomas just said, it is not coming out in theaters. No surprise here. I mean, I guess there is a bit of a surprise because Disney did move Black Widow, but Soul obviously has different expectations coming into a box office than a Black Widow, obviously. But it is
definitely more family and child driven market than MCU.
Certainly. And it's coming out at a great time. It's coming out on Christmas Day 2020. So this Christmas, if you have a Disney Plus subscription, Soul will be available. It is not doing the premiere access like Mulan did. There is no extra fee on top. You just have to be a Disney Plus subscriber and you get Soul. So, Thomas, you want to quickly comment on just that part of this bit of news?
Good. That is
awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that movie, honestly. I need to watch. I haven't even seen Onward yet, even though it's on Disney Plus. I really need to see it. I really want to watch it. I should watch it soon. I just keep forgetting to.
Oh, David.
Hopefully, maybe by next week, that'll be what I can say I'm watching. Now to the in my opinion, far more interesting part of this topic of news is that Walt Disney Company, this is coming from Bob Chapek, who's like the new Disney chief. He's kind of the one in charge now. That Iger's still there. I think Iger is actually technically still his boss. But anyway, it's coming out that Disney is going to start essentially promoting streaming and moving their business endeavors more towards and putting more of a focus on streaming. And that includes Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus. So it's not just focusing on ESPN or Disney Plus. It's also they own all of Hulu. They own ESPN Plus, and they're kind of changing their business scheme a bit to focus more on their streaming services, which, I mean, in theory, I think on the surface level, unsurprising, I guess, but because it's such a big company like Disney that gets a ton of revenue off of their theme parks and the regular movie theater box office from their huge Marvel movies and Star Wars movies, them saying that, hey, we're going to start focusing a lot more on Disney Plus and ESPN Plus and all these different things. It's a big announcement, I think, and it's a sign of the times and things to come. And Thomas, when you read this, when you saw this, what were your thoughts?
I'm still not like what they've said is great, but they haven't laid out an actual plan. So I'm waiting until I believe it's the fourth quarter call that they're going to have, and that's when they're going to have a lot more information coming out. I'm excited. I'm curious. They have piqued my curiosity for sure. And I really want to know what they mean. And I have a feeling that they're not 100% sure they know what they mean either.
Yeah. I mean, so important to note, it's a restructuring of kind of their business in the sense that now, like what this says is that essentially that there's going to be an entire new media and entertainment group, and that the restructuring is taking place, and it'll allow to put more emphasis on those things, Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus. So maybe all it really is that their current business plan is making it so they haven't been able to put as much emphasis as they would have liked to, and now they're being able to. And honestly, I mean, I'm surprised they haven't put more Disney IP, like first party IP on Hulu. I'm surprised Disney Plus is currently so reliant on Mandalorian and Star Wars. I mean, Marvel's coming, but they don't have any real hits that are original content on Disney Plus outside of Star Wars and what's coming with Marvel.
Is it Maelstrom, I believe? Or Hellstrom just premiered on the app of Hulu.
Oh, okay.
So that's new. And I do believe they have something else coming out for Hulu. But that's a Marvel thing, by the way. It's a horror, so I'm not watching it.
Yeah.
Horror fans, tell me how good it is, because
right.
it is not something that I will be watching whatsoever, just because I don't need to be scared. I'm a Cowboys fan. We're scared every day. Okay. What else is from this news story? There was a lot going on with this situation.
Yeah. So the other point that another article wanted to make out, or just like speculation around the web internet, is just that, hey, is this going to lead to more movies on Disney Plus? Because right now it's TV shows, right? Like we're getting Mandalorian TV show, Kenobi TV show, Disney or Marvel TV shows. Is this going to lead to where we're all been speculating, and we've been seeing them already put it to the test? Mulan, premiere release on Disney Plus. Black Widow being pushed, them saying that has to go in the theater essentially. Now Soul getting put on streaming. Where is this leading? Is essentially like what everyone's thinking. Because in reality, like just like to the naked eye, if the announcement hadn't been made, we may not have noticed. But what could it lead to in the future is basically like what everyone's been speculating about.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense, especially because will theaters ever open?
Yeah.
I mean, like as you'll see in our next story, big question marks on that.
Yeah. And the thing is, well, what I wanted to point out really quick too is that ESPN Plus, I think it's a big part of it as well. With everything going to streaming, I feel like this almost had to happen. Not even just because this is going to lead to all of the MCU going on streaming on day one instead of the theater, but also that now maybe there's going to be a lot more exclusivity on ESPN Plus. They're going to do a lot more originals on Hulu. Like, I don't know. They're already kind of behind of the Netflixes of the world just because Netflix is an absolute monster. And honestly, Netflix still kind of owns the space. Like everyone, it's almost like the base streaming service. You like have to have Netflix just to have it. And then all the others are kind of just supplementary. Honestly, HBO Max is, I think, almost more comparable to a Netflix because they have all of HBO, which is original TV shows all the time, continuing to come out, and big successful ones with a lot of money behind them.
Speaking about like how they're structuring things, I'm looking for this guy's name and I cannot find it.
Did you want to bring up the Black Widow shareholder quote?
Yes, and I'm now not able to find said quote, and I'm getting really frustrated because I thought this would be very simple to find. So I'll brief it as I try and find this link in the Ethernet. A Disney shareholder recently said that they need to double the streaming content. Yeah. Because here it is from Deadline. Thank you, Deadline, for coming through. Daniel Loeb, who I don't know if he's actually related to Jeff Loeb. I don't know if you know who that is, but he's the guy behind Marvel's TV series for until now. He said beyond bringing additional subscribers onto the platform, increased velocity of dedicated content production will deliver several knock-on benefits spread across your existing base, including elevated engagement, lower churn, and increased pricing power. He wrote in a letter to CEO Bob Chapek. And he's something he did not actually mention is Hamilton on Disney Plus. That I think was a bigger thing than Mulan. I think I've heard that the amount of streaming subscribers because of Hamilton is one of their largest since they premiered, which was about a year ago now.
Yeah, no, it was over a year ago, I believe. That was a big deal. I did forget about that. Getting Hamilton the rights to premiere that was a big move for them.
Yes, and that was supposed to go. Oh, excuse me, was supposed to be in the theaters. That was supposed to be
really.
That was originally designed to be a theatrical release.
Right.
And because of everything going on, they're like, oh, we're going to put it on Disney Plus. And then like, well, if we're going to put it on Disney Plus, do it on July 4th, like around the 4th. And they were like, haha, brilliant. So in the Deadline article, they mentioned, you know, as HBO Max and Apple TV Plus, their budget for content on Disney Plus is a fraction of the $17 billion outlay by Netflix, which leads at 193 million global subscribers. Loeb said that a more aggressive content roadmap will distinguish Disney as the only traditional U.S. media company able to thrive in a world beyond the box office and the cable TV ecosystem, alongside digital-first businesses like Netflix and Amazon. And you and I we discussed this, and you didn't realize that Netflix is dropping $100+ million for big budget blockbuster style films now. Right. And they're making, like as we saw with Extraction, the #1 most streamed movie ever on Netflix, had like 100 and something million unique account watches. So,
see, I mean, just to wrap this one up, this is the thing. It's going to lead beautifully into the next topic, because the movement is towards streaming, and especially the COVID pandemic outbreak, everyone quarantining has just accelerated that right now. And it's accelerated it to where everyone's been at home, everyone's been streaming, and it'll bounce back. The theaters will bounce back in some respect, but it's just like it's accelerated where things have been going and where they are going. Me and you love the theater. Me and you are always going to go in the theater. Not everyone has that same love affair with going to the movies. People like to just sit at home and watch a film and be able to multitask and do all these things. And I mean, I think for maybe big budget movies, like the biggest of the, like Star Wars, and I think that's something else I read, where at some point down the line, we could just be seeing only huge just ginormous films coming out in theaters, no more small indies. They could just be sold to HBO and Disney and Apple and all these things. And it's a sign of the times for the theaters. And unfortunately, we have some more dire news coming from AMC theaters, as we have been for months now, since we started this podcast 28 plus weeks ago. So
I love this graphic.
Really. AMC Theaters said this is coming from CNN. AMC Theaters said Tuesday that its existing cash resources would be largely depleted by the end of 2020 or early 2021 because of the reduced movie slate for the fourth quarter. So that's not a dig, but it's an observation about how 007, Black Widow, Wonder Woman. Well, Wonder Woman is, I guess, technically still there for Christmas. Who knows if that's actually going to stay? That seems very tentative. This is the thing. I think obviously AMC and Regal and all these other movie theater companies were hoping that Tenet was going to start getting the ball rolling. Unfortunately, it didn't. And the final part of this quote is, sorry, an ad just popped up.
Damn it, Zuckerberg! I don't know why I blamed him, but I did.
Sorry, I just want to finish this quote. As well as the absence of significant increases in attendance from current levels. So basically, they're saying that they are not able to, because let me back up. AMC is still open. Regal closed. So AMC is still a theater that is open, trying to bring in customers, doing everything in their power to have the theater open. They are still not open. So they were hoping that there would be more movies to go see, and they are not right now. So they are losing money. And honestly, they're on life support, and I'm just hoping they can stay alive. Because they are I think they're either the first or second biggest, largest movie theater chain in the world. So we'll look out. We'll keep you guys updated and see if they go bankrupt or what happens to them, because there will be a time when theaters do open back up. That there will be a day. We don't know when that day is necessarily going to be yet, but there will be. So they just have to hold on. Thomas, AMC's running out of money. What are your thoughts?
I don't actually have a lot of thoughts, but I just opened my AMC app to see if there's anything playing in Tallahassee, because I know that they're playing Empire Strikes Back, and that's the only movie I'm trying to see in theaters right now.
Yeah.
But I forgot The Honest Thief just came out last week. The War with Grandpa recently came out.
Saw that.
Tenet is still there, which I'm probably going to
be there until 2022.
That's okay. That gives me more time to go see it again.
Yeah.
And then some, scary movies that are just not worth my time. The Croods, because I think the Croods 2 just dropped the trailer. I don't really have anything. I was 0% surprised by what they said, because that was the one chain that everyone has been worried about, because they're like, we might not survive 2020. Yeah. And then it's been a roller coaster. And you know who probably will survive that also has an A, M, and an M in their name?
Yeah.
Amazon.
Yeah, so this is proof in the pudding of what we were just saying, that movies are going to come up for grabs now with theaters being closed, and they could be a sign of the times going forward, where this film, Coming to America, Eddie Murphy's Coming to America, was just bought. The rights were just bought by Amazon Studios, meaning that this film will be coming on December 18th to Amazon Prime Video. And it was bought for roughly, check out this number, $125 million. They bought the rights to it. So these are not playing around numbers that these movies go for, and they won't be for a long time. And this is very interesting, because this was obviously initially supposed to be an in-theater movie. If you're a movie studio, I don't know the budget of this film. I don't know the details of the deal. You sell it for $125 to a streaming service. I think that's a pretty good deal. I mean, I don't know the exact details, but I'm sure they maybe turned a profit. They can keep pumping these things out. It's a pretty interesting business, I think, relationship scenario we're getting into with a lot of these movie studios, where now they could be incentivized to be selling to other third-party streaming services like an Amazon Studios, Amazon Video Prime. Thomas, are you excited to see this movie? What do you think of this news when it came out?
I'm excited to see this movie. I genuinely don't remember if let me rephrase that. I don't remember the last time I saw the first one.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the budget, and I'm looking on IMDb Pro right now.
Are you trying to find it? Yeah.
To find it, and I'm currently not finding it. So that is an abso-freaking-loot bummer. But yeah, my guess is that it was a pretty penny. They were filming this, Bad Boys for Life, and another movie all at the same time, and they were like these, and so it was the major stars from the 90s and some of the 80s who were together filming on the same lot. And they took a picture together. It was Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, Eddie Murphy, and I'm not going to lie, I am currently blanking on who the fourth member of that amazing photograph was. And someone pointed out that they've never been in a movie together. And now that's all that I really want. $125 million. That is wild. And I really, 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 really want to know the budget for this movie.
And another thing I wanted to point out,
had to have just pulled off they had to have just pulled off a profit right there.
Yeah, you would think. But the thing is, I mean, 125, how does that compare to possibly a worldwide box office number that could have happened if it had indeed come out to theaters? And we forget, see, this is another thing I wanted to point out. We forget that when there's a box office number, all of that money does not go directly into the studio's pocket. They got a lot of other mouths to feed with that money. Yes. This deal could have been different. Obviously it's directly from the studio to a streaming service. And another thing I wanted to point out is that Amazon has been busy recently. Amazon Studios, they're trying to grow their streaming brand. They bought the acquisition of Borat 2 that we were talking about over text recently.
Let's go. Very nice.
The Tom Clancy adaptation Without Remorse, starring Michael B. Jordan, they also bought the rights to. So
they bought the rights to My Spy, which came out around the time of the start of COVID in America, around the time that everything got shut down, kind of vibes.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is another move that shouldn't be surprising when it comes to Amazon, because they're trying to build their streaming services when it comes to, you know, it doesn't have to be an Amazon original. Like, they don't have to be funding it themselves. They can just have other studios make them movies for them, buy the rights, and distribute it. So it's an interesting little business situation we've gotten ourselves into.
Hey, that is a very good way to put it, actually. You know, Wesley Snipes, by the way, is in this movie. And
okay.
Yeah, that might have been who the fourth person was in that photograph. I just saw it. And now Deadline is not giving me that list of streaming things that they just had that I was going to read off for everyone. But you know what has, kind of continuing this Amazon vibe. Let's go ahead and jump to the most wild show in the history of everything, The Boys.
Yeah, so The Boys season 3, it's coming. We've been talking about. We're excited. There's a spinoff coming. The Boys season 3. We should all be excited for it. It's supposed to begin filming at the start of next year, so obviously that's another show that should begin filming fairly soon. It's going to introduce a new character, Soldier Boy, who is like the original kind of like main superhero, almost like predating Homelander. In the comics, that is.
In the movie.
Anyway,
in the show.
Yeah, right, exactly. So we'll see that on the screen at some point. So series creator, this kind of the fun news bit of this article is series creator and showrunner Eric Kripke. I'll roll with that. Kripke?
Eric Kripke.
Eric Kripke. And I quote, season 3 is going to be effing crazy. Like, even in the first episode, the first 10 minutes of that episode, there's a sequence that I'm not going to give away that, like, literally every time we talk about it, I, like, cover my mouth. It's so effing bananas. But we're also still going to go deeper into characters and keep exploring and really put characters forward. But man, there's crazy shit coming. Which is, I mean, honestly, this is such a The Boys quote where character forward, which I love to hear, and we saw that in season 2, but also get ready for the oohs and ahs and gasps, which they never cease to give us. Season 1 and season 2, they keep piling it on. Seems like early and often we're getting in season 3. Thomas, what were your thoughts? How hyped are you about season 3 now?
I'm just so hyped. Like, what he said makes me so much more excited, because after season 2 and like the whale, what are you gonna give me? Like, at this point, continuing, I don't have much to say on The Boys. I'm so excited. It's really far away. They haven't finished writing yet, and they're gonna start filming at some point. They've said they're hoping they can start filming by the end of 2020. Likely not. But because we were talking about streaming and I couldn't find the doohickey of the streaming, whatchamacallit.
Yeah.
There is, we might have to just like write a blog post or something about this, because I'm looking at this list of things: Blue Story, The Lovebirds, Trolls World Tour, Charm City Kings, My Spy, The Quarry, Bad Trip, The Secret, Dare to Dream, Run, Sweetheart, Run, The High Note, Valley Girl, Scoob, The Woman in the Window, Artemis Fowl, Irresistible, Shirley, Greyhound, Mosul, The King of Staten Island, SpongeBob, Sponge on the Run, The One and Only Ivan, Mulan, Antebellum, Spell, Bill and Ted Face the Music, The Trial of the Chicago 7, Greenland, The Glorias, The Witches, Soul, Coming to America, Love and Monsters, Without Remorse, Hamilton, You Should Have Left, An American Pickle, The Secret Garden, Enola Holmes, Borat 2. All of those except for 5 had theatrical release dates and are now coming to digital.
Yeah.
One of which, Hamilton, for example, was October 15th, 2021. It was released July 3rd of this year.
Mm-hmm.
So they have bumped up a lot. Also, really quick, just a quick shout out to An American Pickle. Weird movie. Great. Highly
Really?
recommended on HBO Max. Yeah, it's Seth Rogen with Seth Rogen. And like it's such a tiny cast that it's basically just Seth Rogen being Seth Rogen against Seth Rogen.
Sounds
wonderful. Highly recommend it. And my brain hurts from all of those that we just literally just bounced through. Let's get to the weirdest news that we have.
Definitely weird. And I have some pretty pointed thoughts on this, and I want you to run down kind of that second link once we get to it. But here we go. So She-Hulk, which we've talked about, I forget what episode this is on, but She-Hulk was apparently casted. I think initially, I want to say Variety or Hollywood Reporter initially reported it. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it was one of those companies, a reliable source, reported that Tatiana Maslany was going to be playing She-Hulk. And now she sat down the Sudbury Star and she's saying otherwise. So here's the direct quote from Maslany. That actually isn't a real thing. Speaking about She-Hulk, her being She-Hulk, that is. And it's like a press release that's gotten out of hand. It's totally not. I've been connected to these things in the past and press has gotten onto it, but it's not actually a thing, unfortunately. So really weird. This is my initial reaction was just kind of scratching my head like, wait, what? She's not actually it? Was the report wrong? I think this is a load of BS. I think she is She-Hulk. I think she has not been given the green light from Marvel Studios to say, hey, I am She-Hulk. Like, this is a public knowledge thing. Because if you notice on a lot of these Deadline, Variety, Hollywood Reporter reports that come out, these articles, after their initial news report finding, it goes, Marvel had no comment. Yeah. Meaning that Marvel wants to confirm nor deny what they're saying. And this seems just like that. If she actually is She-Hulk, she's probably not going to say in some little interview that it is in fact true. Thomas, what were your thoughts? Similar, not? Is she going to be She-Hulk? What's the deal?
I felt similar, but I also think that this could come down to contract negotiations at the same time.
Yeah, good point.
So,
maybe
it's they've cast her, and it's like, yeah, okay, she's cast. And oftentimes you can say we've cast this person until a source will get a hold of that, but until the contract is signed, it's not finalized, so they can't talk about it. More importantly than all of that, I have a history lesson for everybody. 3 of the most important actors in this, at least 2.
I'm excited.
In following an October 2013 report from Variety that Disney and Marvel were eyeing him to play Scott Lang in Ant-Man, actor Paul Rudd repeatedly denied the oft-repeated rumor and did so right up until just days before Marvel confirmed the news. On December 11th, he was asked in an interview, and he said, with a laugh, that's all rumors. There's nothing I know. Sorry. On December 19th, 2013, Marvel confirmed it and announced that Rudd was in the role. Brie Larson, in June 2016, it was being reported that she had emerged as the favorite to play Carol Danvers in Captain Marvel. When asked in a 2015 interview with MTV UK, she claimed she had no idea who Danvers was, and then confused the character with Chris Evans' Captain America. And then July 23rd, 2016, Larson was announced as Captain Marvel. I also believe they started filming Endgame around this time.
Yeah, they would have actually. Yeah,
and there were a lot of costume tests, and she would also. Oh my God, I lost the word. Audition for a bunch of other stuff. But it's important to note that, as I said, deals do fall through, or Marvel is sometimes unable to sway a considered actor into taking a role. Feige previously opened up about the negotiation process and what happens when wanted actors turn down roles. And he said, if there's an actor we want for something, they come in. You give a big pitch and you can sort of tell when they're not into it. You think I guess I'm a failure. I'll show them. We'll cast somebody even better. So that's just part of it. Don't linger on failures is what I usually try to do. Don't stew in it and move on quickly.
Yeah.
And that's all I got for this segment because contract negotiations are very important in this industry. So
we guess like this topic's over, but that is funny to think that just quick aside of what you said, something I wanted to just kind of talk about was that it's crazy to think still that Brie Larson filmed Endgame before Captain Marvel.
Yes.
Just like that seems crazy to me. If you think about it, she was, I mean, MCU timeline wise, by the end of that film, that's 30 years after like with the timeline that 30 years after like
it's 35 years, 33 years. No. It's 28 years because it was 95 to 2023.
Yeah. So 28 years after the movie is set, she was filming for this other film. It's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
How the movie works.
Yeah, and she's also talked about like how she played like this very serious and strong version in Endgame. And then she goes to like in Captain Marvel and she's like, I just feel like it's so jarring. And I'm like, yes, it is. But also she shows up and she's like, she's basically like, okay, everything's gone to shit. So now we have to do this. And I know how strong I am. I'm just going to go kill Thanos. And it fits in line with all of that. And she's just kind of frustrated and stressed and you can see it. And because she's not in there that much, it totally worked. Because when she would show up, it'd be like, let's go. And then that one scene where she's like, everything that's happening on Earth is happening everywhere. And she does it with such heart.
Yeah.
That even Rocket Raccoon's like, good point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really have a great segue here, but this is going to be an electrifying story.
I will say
I'm hype.
To me, this is short and sweet. Hollywood Reporter is now reporting that Michael B. Jordan is joining Warner Brothers, is producing a DC Static Shock film. So that's basically it. Nothing else really to go on here. It's Outlier Society, which is like the production company is like what Michael B. Jordan is under. So it's not just him, but he will be a producer on this film. Will he make an appearance? Who knows? Company. Right, exactly. Mm-hmm. That is his production company. And yeah, this is the quote from Jordan. He said in a statement to Hollywood Reporter, "I'm proud to be a part of building a new universe centered around Black superheroes. Our community deserves that. Outlier Society is committed to bringing to life diverse comic book content across all platforms, and we are excited to partner with Reggie and Warner Brothers on this step." So, I mean, really just awesome news. I'm happy that this is happening and that Michael B. Jordan is involved in the making of this film. Thomas, any more?
You need to watch Static Shock, bro. It is so freaking good. Like, it is one of my favorite superhero shows. And if I'm not mistaken, it was in the 2000. Was it? I'm trying to remember when the show actually played. I was a child. I don't know if you were even alive yet. You were alive. I'm kidding. It was around the time that Justice League was going on, and then Batman Beyond came on, and he ends up in Batman Beyond as an old man. Like, dude, it's so good. 1998 is stabbing me in the brain, so that might have been the year that the show started.
That's when I was born.
This show, so you might not have been alive. Holy shit. This is super exciting because as we kind of mentioned on our fandom special, Milestone Comics is a now defunct company, was founded by Black writers and artists to help make comics a more inclusive space, and which had distribution through DC. And he first appeared in 1993, and a decade later, here it is, the hero was revived for the animated series centering on Virgil Hawkins, a teenager transformed into a superhero who gains electromagnetic powers after being exposed to strange gas. It was the rare animated show that was headlined by a Black character, and it was downright great. Like, there's no way to beat around that bush. It was abso-frackin-lutely great.
Yeah.
And it made you care about everything going on. And because I was a kid, I empathized with Virgil. And also, I loved electricity even before I was a Thor fan. So I was like, yo, give me mutant powers. I'd just be like, listen, I don't like you. Now you have a bad hair day. Suck it. This is huge that Michael B. Jordan is going to be producing, because that brings in a whole new eyes, a lot of eyes onto this that weren't there before. Like, they announced in that panel, and I said it, there's a Static Shock movie coming, and it was completely under the radar of everybody. But Michael B. Jordan comes on, and now everyone's like, Static Shock, holy crap. And it's like, hell yes. So I have goosebumps. Like, I'm so excited.
I'm excited too. I'll check out the show, release some like clips on YouTube. Did you ever see the movie Kin?
No, I did not see that.
So it's funny, when reading that quote, it reminded me of that movie Kin, because he executive produced it. He's in it for like a minute. It's funny. He makes like a cameo as this big character, and it's it also stars like a young black kid is like the main character. And I was trying to look up. I was curious if like if his same like production company produced it as well. He was like an executive producer on it. He helmed it. I'm curious if I'll get similar vibes from that movie. I kind of like that film. It was super random. Saw it in theaters. I think it was a 2018 movie. Kin, executive produced by Michael B. Jordan. It was like a sci-fi film. It was all right. Anyway, that's kind of what I'm almost in my head basing like what I could be looking forward to. Static Shock. And
with James Franco in it, and Dennis Quaid, and Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah.
I gotta get off my butt, man.
Sorry. It kind of came and went, honestly, I will say. It came and went. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it did pretty decent in the box office, it looks like.
So hey, I mean, one thing that's pretty Anywho, one thing that's pretty interesting is that, you know, Michael B. Jordan, we've seen this now. James Gunn has directed an MCU film. Now he's directing a DC film. Michael B. Jordan has now gone from MCU to DC. So now let's go back to the MCU here on Lights, Thunder, Action today with one of our final news topics. And that is that we have some casting news coming to us from Deadline. Xochitl Gomez, who is known for this recent what is it? The Babysitter's Club. Yeah, which is like a Netflix show. I have no idea what it's about. I have no idea. I had no idea who this girl was until this report, because obviously I care, because it's a Doctor Strange 2 casting. So Xochitl Gomez is apparently now going to be casted in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and Marvel, of course, had no comment on this Deadline report. Also, I want to quickly point out, the main headline is that Xochitl Gomez is in this film. Speculation of who she is, what kind of role she's playing. It seems to be significant because there is a, you know, full-fledged report coming out about it. It won't be like a small I mean, it might be like a secondary or tertiary character, but she'll be in the film, right? Quickly wanted to point out, sometimes they throw these in these articles, other little reports. Benedict Wong, Chiwetel Ejiofor are both coming back, respectively, as their roles in for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So Wong is back, and Carl Mordo is back, which are the characters. Mordo is obviously, I think, more interesting because at the end of Doctor Strange 1, we saw him seemingly maybe turning to the dark side of the magic and stuff. So anyway,
he's going to do it.
Very interesting character. And then also, yeah. So I am excited to see what his role will be in this whacked, crazy of a movie. This film's going to be. And then also, finally, they also report, which we already kind of knew, but it's nice to read. And Elizabeth Olsen has been tapped to reprise her role as Scarlet Witch, you know, which Kevin Feige's already said will go hand in hand with WandaVision that is supposed to be debuting in December. So some fun casting news. We have a new up-and-comer coming in. Thomas, what were your thoughts on this?
I honestly, at first, I didn't really, I'm not going to lie. I've been unplugged from the news for the past like half week because of work and traveling and all this other stuff. But it was this morning that I started looking into it, and I came across an article that was talking about America Chavez. And I was like,
Yeah.
huh. I know about America Chavez simply because I listened to Fat Man Beyond, but the specific episode is they dubbed it Black Man Beyond because Mark Bernardin was the host as Kevin Smith was traveling about the world promoting Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, and he had on Danny Fernandez. She is a Latin LGBTQ writer, actor. Honestly, she's a hilarious human being. And she was talking about, America Chavez and what it means to her. And so that's how it came up on my radar. And then I saw this, and then they have been rumored for a long time that America Chavez would make an appearance. A lot of people are already putting one and one together to come up with two. And the fact that A, they're not filming Doctor Strange yet, and B, America Chavez is a teenager, that she's going to be playing America Chavez. Who is America Chavez? The world is inquiring. America Chavez is the second character to use the moniker Miss America after Madeline Joyce. Chavez first appeared in Vengeance #1 in September of 2011 before joining the Young Avengers and later getting her own ongoing series in 2017 titled America, written by Gabby Rivera. She is Marvel's first Latin American LGBTQ character to star in an ongoing series. We've heard Feige talk about LGBTQ representation is going to be huge moving forward, and that we're going to get one in this movie. And there's been rumors that Doctor Strange would include another. And now there's rumors of, and there were rumors obviously of America Chavez, and they were like, oh, maybe it's that. Well, now we have this casting. It kind of fits. A lot of people are like, well, if she's America Chavez, she's a little bit lighter. And it's like, well, I mean, I'm not anyone to judge that. I'm not as close to the character. I'm just going to see what happens. If it is America Chavez, that is huge because if I'm not mistaken, Miss America is the moniker is kind of based around, the good, the righteous, and representing what America is, as Steve Rogers was in the 40s. This is an updated version for that. And it's, not Captain America, not the U.S. agent. It's just Miss America, which is a very exciting opportunity. And the fact that she is so closely tied to the Young Avengers is where the excitement really gets, because I want the Young Avengers.
Yeah.
Marvel.
I mean, with Miss Marvel coming and possibly others.
I forget. Miss Marvel, with Kang being a thing in Ant-Man 3, currently in the Young Avengers, a version of Kang is in the Young Avengers. He's Iron Lad. Right. And then of course, I don't want to get her name wrong. Peanut from Ant-Man, his daughter is right. She has giant abilities. So there's a huge world explosion, and it's going to be great for teen. When I was a teen, we genuinely only had cartoons for it's a cool teen, like Avatar or Korra.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm almost done with Korra. I'm halfway through season 4. I'm so excited. I almost cried in the gym today because something happened. I was like, don't do it. But now not only are they going to have representation for their age group, but now it's going to be represented across, races, religions, creeds, sexual orientations, all of that. And that is a much better, I just think that's better for storytelling and for representing what life is actually like now, and not blaming it on, oh, it's because of this, oh, it's because of that. No, it's because that's how life is.
Yeah.
That's life. It's what all the people say. David, now that we've ended the news, I'm going to go ahead. We're going to take our quick ad break as we do some behind-the-scenes reshuffling of our brains.
Stay tuned. You're going to want to come back for the after this ad, let me tell you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to set it up right now. Spider-Rant Stuck at Home is going to be coming right after this.
Famous Faces and Funnies in Melbourne, Florida is leading the way in pop culture fun. From comic books and graphic novels to Funko Pops and collector's items, Famous Faces and Funnies has it all. Rick Shea and the professional team at Famous Faces and Funnies are friendly and knowledgeable. Whether you're looking for toys, props, collector treasures, or a new comic book, Famous Faces and Funnies is your one-stop shop. To find Famous Faces and Funnies on Facebook and Twitter, just type at FFF Comics.
Oh, yeah, it'll be so cute. For those of you that are just listening, that is Baby Yoda peeking in really adorably on what we're doing here.
All right, Thomas, give me a graphic. Give me something.
Okay, let's start with the positive.
What's the positive?
Doctor Strange, bro.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Read the graphic.
Excuse me. I apologize.
We got to start with the positive before we get to Spider-Rant, and we just talked about the Strange 2, so now we're going to talk about the Strange Spider 3.
Yeah.
So Doctor Strange, ladies and gems, we're going with that as I'm trying to do 5 things at once. Doctor Strange has been confirmed to be in Spider-Man 3. We got there. Yes. Unfortunately, they're saying he's going to be like a mentor. Ugh, gross. But whatever. I still have, and I've had this feeling for a long time, that the Spider-Man is going to be represented in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. They have Sam Raimi on. Everyone's, crossing all the fingers, sending out vibes in the Force. We want this. We want it now. Yeah. So the fact that they're bringing Doctor Strange into this as a mentor leads to nothing but pure, absolute, unadulterated speculation that we are going to get in some way a Spider-Verse crossover here, to which I will stand by my statement of 100% that we get a Spider-Verse film in some way represented. I also think this is going to be a Sinister Six film. And with Electro being there with the same actor, now we have a very, very easy and understandable explanation as to, I'm just doing a lot of words that were unnecessary there. Now we understand how and why Electro's there and why it's Jamie Foxx. And we're probably going to get some kind of explanation from Doctor Strange himself. How do you go? I mean, to be fair, he's trending upwards in terms of mentors. Tony Stark, Quentin Beck, Doctor Strange, yeah, okay. Like, he's got a doctorate. That's good. He knows magic. That's cool.
An MD. He's an MD.
He does the magic hand thingy. The waving with the hand.
Yeah. Makes the loops.
That's what and then the weird magic guy does the little spinny spins, and then all of a sudden I'm here. Thanks, Tony Stark. David, what are your thoughts on Doctor Strange being in Spider-Man 3?
Yeah, it's unsurprising, I think, in a way, especially because both based in New York, the characters, that is. So we don't know exactly where the movies are going to be taking place, but they are both New York. They are both our New York superheroes in the MCU for all intents and purposes.
Yeah,
so
they actually live really close to each other, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, it's really in that sense, like, geographically not surprising. I think also with all of these rumors of the multiverse and everything happening in Spider-Man 3, that this connection is also unsurprising. And important to note that Spider-Man 3 is before Multiverse of Madness. So December, and then March or something is now Multiverse.
David,
yes.
Remember, I'm going to tell you right now, pull up a clip for this week from our Spider-Man MCU rumors and Doctor Strange, and look for the fact that I said, if Spider-Man is before Doctor Strange, Spider-Man leaves the Earth and Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
that's how they write them out of MCU. I'm just saying, that is their easy out to write them out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm sorry, David, but it looks to be that way.
I don't want to hear that. I really hope not. But yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense that he's in this film as a mentor. Not really. That doesn't really. I want to see Spider-Man be Spider-Man.
Same. I think he'll be a mentor only in the fact that he will give okay. Let's role play. I'm Spider-Man. You're Doctor Strange. Hey, Doctor Strange. You know what? We should actually switch that. You're obviously Spider-Man. So ask me. You've obviously had your identity released to everybody. You come to me for help. What do you think my answer is going to be? Obviously.
I mean, so this is what I like. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I'm kind of worried, or I'm kind of sick of this trope that we've gotten into with this Tom Holland version of Spider-Man, where it's like he becomes this young, dumb kid the second an adult speaks. Tony Stark, all of a sudden he's like this kid again. There is the moment I think is really poignant in Homecoming when Tony Stark is actually there next to the ferry that Spider-Man almost like ripped in half. And they had this moment and he's sticking up for himself. And anyway, but I think that I would love to see Spider-Man, this Tom Holland rendition, be comfortable as a man. I mean, becoming a man, independent, not having to rely on someone. I hope it's not a relying thing. I hope it's just kind of like, hey, we get Doctor Strange in there. He gives him a few pointers and helps him a bit, but it's not like save me.
Oh, I don't think it'll be the only way it would be save me is if it's Sinister Six
falling into the multiverse.
No, he needs a quick exit.
Right.
Because let's be real, like if this is Sinister Six and he needs a quick exit, he can just be like, Strange, I'm compromised. And then he spins him out and that's it. It's, like that's what I think the only real help, because I feel like Strange is going to be like, well, like Strange is going to be Strange and Peter's going to be like, I don't know how to take that. And he'll be like, I don't know how to give it to you.
Okay. I need to talk about some things.
Okay. Is it time?
It's time.
It's
please.
time. It's time.
We'll get to a little more positive news in a bit, but I have some things to say, ladies and gentlemen, about the recent rumor report from none other than Fandom Wire. And more specifically, not just Fandom Wire. I mean, Fandom Wire wrote the article, but Andy Signore, who made a YouTube video about apparently reporting an exclusive report that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield have signed on to Spider-Man 3, which is the movie coming out, I believe, December 18th of 2021. Now, I want to start with this. There's no one more in the world, I think, that wants this more than I do. Like, I think getting a Spider-Verse film at some point and having them pop up, like, I'd lose it. I can't imagine anything more I want in a film than getting Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire back in the suit in a Spider-Man film with Tom Holland. That being aside, I just have some problems with how this is going. So we get the Electro report, right? We get that from, I believe, the Hollywood Reporter. Okay, Electro's going to be in it. Confusing. And everyone's mind initially goes to, from there, oh my gosh, does that mean Andrew Garfield's going to be in it? Wait, does that mean Tobey Maguire's going to be in it? What does this mean? Is there a multiverse? Obviously, we know there is one because of the Doctor Strange movie, and it's already been mentioned before in Doctor Strange, so we're aware of it. Could this open up the door for bringing these two previous Spider-Men back into an MCU film with Tom Holland? This report could be true, right? I mean, I don't want to just poo-poo it, but the amount of people I was hearing, I was having friends tell me that, like, the amount of aggregation of this report coming out, that we have no idea. We have no idea this is true. And this is what irks me. So, okay, Andy Signore, if you have this Sony source and you know it and they told you this and you are 100% being honest and you have this report, kudos to you. You know what? Good job, man. You did a great job of getting the likes and the views and the clicks over to Fandom Wire. Like, thumbs up. Do you know how easy it would be for anyone with any kind of platform to be like, hey, exclusive? Someone at Sony told me that they're signing on a Spider-Man 3, Maguire and Garfield. It could be true. But you could have no idea. And this is the culture I think that we live in now when, hey, it could be leading to this. We're all speculating about it. We all believe this could happen. Thomas, 100% Spider-Verse movie is going to happen. That's what Thomas is saying, right?
Yep.
Everyone's hearing this. I've got a bit of a platform here. My YouTube page, Fandom Wire, is going to let me write this article. Exclusive. Sony assigned Maguire and Garfield. It's just, it could be true, right? It could be true. But all of a sudden, I mean, I studied journalism in college, right? And I think that's that's the side that's coming out of me right now. Because I don't know if this guy's true or false. I mean, always what we've been taught, like, you'd love to always hear who the actual source is or a quote. This is just very vague, a Sony executive. And if it actually is one, of course it's going to be vague and under wraps. But it is so easy to sit up there in front of your camera, in front of your audience, and get all the people are retweeting it and reposting on their own nerd and movie Instagram page, and all of a sudden having friends talk to me being like, oh my gosh, confirmed. This is the last thing that is confirmed in the world right now, that these two have actually signed on for this film. And the fact that people are, it's more of the reaction and the lack of thought of just the immediate reaction that, oh my gosh, I saw one report. I didn't even see where it was coming from. It has to be true. I texted a group of my friends because one of my friends sent it to us, and I was like, this is like I was just saying that the source is kind of bogus. I would not believe this because I said with the podcast with Derek, I'm at a 35% for a Spider-Verse film because it just feels like such a long shot still to me. As I would love it to happen, I think more than anyone, as I started this off with, I still don't think it's just signed, sealed, delivered. This could be true, but I do not like the idea that I don't believe this guy has a Sony source that told him this. Because where's Deadline? Where's Variety? Where's the Hollywood Reporter with such Sony source? They have the connects. Like, they got the Electro thing is real. And Jamie Foxx himself posted about it, so it's real. This, to me, it feels like, and I saw a post from Fandom Wire saying, I wish I had given it to show. It was all of these things that they had initially reported first that ended up being true. And it just frustrates me that they could have, I would love to know what they've reported that they've missed on, because this opens up so much crap on the internet for people just to be like, hey, because the second we find out from the Hollywood Reporter or from Marvel or Sony itself that let's just say Maguire and Garfield are actually going to be in the movie. Now you have Andy Signore, the initial reporter, and Fandom Wire being like, we had it first. We had the report first. And we have no idea if they even knew for sure. But because they could be speculating that it is coming, they can just write an article and make a bunch of people believe that they got the news first. That's all I really have to say. That's my rant, everyone. That's what I wanted to really let out, because
that was well done. Like, I thought you were going to be a little bit more heated.
I don't want to take away the fact that they could be true, Like, I don't want to sit here and be like, they're lying. I think they are. And I think that we're in a culture now where it's setting us up for being fed these lies.
Fake news.
Yeah. Essentially. And
it's all propaganda.
I won't believe it until the Hollywood Reporter, Variety, Deadline, or the Sony or Disney say it themselves, to be honest. Like, this is just still a rumor. This is not, you can take it as a report, you can believe it, but I wouldn't. And I think a lot of websites like We Got This Covered, Fandom Wire.
My God. You know how many times someone would be like, did you see this? And the first thing I do is see it's We Got This Covered. And I'm like, they have like a 4% success rate at these things. Someone recently, I will go find it and post it later, but they did a breakdown of their scoops that they have, and it's 4% accuracy over like 5 or 6 years.
Yes.
And it's like, and more often than not, like, see, I'm going to get mad now because more often than not, it is like, this guy says this guy says that. We believe it's this, so we're saying it's this. And that's how it's written. And then people are like, oh my God. I'm like, did you read the fact that they said that they had conflicting reports, but they're going to just say it's this anyway? Like, are we blind here?
And what sucks to me, what makes me kind of disgusted is the fact that let's just say, Fandom Wire, Signor, they had no idea for sure if this was happening. They're just going to come out with this article and say they did know. It makes me almost half want to root for it not happening just to be like, ha, gotcha. Because if it does happen, where, let's be honest, I want it to happen. Like, I'll get over it. I do want it to happen, of course. But if it does happen, they can be like, hey, we were the first ones. Shout, scream to the hills, saying that we were the first ones to have this, and maybe they did. Maybe Signor had he had the special one Sony executive that's going to tell him that both Maguire and Garfield have signed on, when the Hollywood Reporter and Deadline and Variety don't. And I that's it.
I will wrap this up really quick to say, if I were an executive, I would give false reports to people I think are moles and leaks, and then crush them when they leak it to the wrong source.
So rant's done. Thank you all for your patience. I hope you maybe enjoyed my little barrage there, but there is a little bit more.
I was so much more mean than you were. You're so nice.
Yeah, I'm a nice guy, but it's just been more frustrating, I think. And I think part of it's on the fans too, and the viewers, where like,
yes,
it's really frustrating to have to explain to people or have to be like, hey, that does not mean it's actually happening. Don't get disappointed when it doesn't happen, or don't be looking like, wait, they said this was going to happen. What happened? Look at the source. I recommend to anyone, I really suggest to anyone who, in any kind of news article reading, especially when it's an aggregator, or if it's
define an aggregator for us not good with English.
I'll break out a
Webster
Merriam-Webster
dictionary.
Yeah. So an aggregator is essentially like an aggregator is a website. Here's the exact definition for everyone: a website or program that collects related items of content and displays them or links to them. So an aggregator is, say, like, we love aggregators. Comicbook.com is a big aggregator. Like, they don't come out with all these exclusives, but they report on reports from other articles and they break them down. The Direct, they do the same thing. They don't have a lot of exclusives, but like any of these websites,
but they get them.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Like it's all about being an aggregator, talking about the news happening. And then, but this is the problem now. So now we're getting an article from Fandom Wire saying that they both signed on, and we're getting all the aggregators, and a lot of them are smaller, and a lot of them are ones that are just out for clicks and have no real news ethics or journalistic integrity, and just want to be like, hey. So I would recommend, without wrapping this back up, I would recommend anyone reading the news, anyone online that's reading, it can be entertainment news, it can be politics. I would go to the, whenever I'm reading an article on, typically, if I'm reading an article on anywhere, it could be Hollywood Reporter, I'm normally at the source, but if it could be like comicbook.com or the Direct or any of these other entertainment websites, I normally go to the click. I go to the link that they have linked for us where the original report is, because you can normally, you can see it for yourself, see what they actually said, what the actual report, because sometimes they paraphrase and it's not exactly what they're saying. So a lot can get lost here, and there can be a lot of the what's that one game called where you It's like where you sit in a circle and you whisper something to the next person. And
The telephone game.
the telephone game. A lot of the news these days is the telephone game, and it can get lost in translation what the actual news is. And it's always important to go to the source, see if it's a reliable source that the report is even on, see if it's a website. Not to be a complete hater, unlike a fandom wire, see if it's Hollywood Reporter, see if it's Variety, see if it's Deadline, see if it's anyone, like if you're politics, see if it's Washington Post, see if it's New York Times. Don't see if it's see if it's a local paper that is there and has witnessed all these things. Like, I just think that in general, people need to look at the sources, go to the original articles, and see what's really going on. And don't just look at some Instagram post and say, hey, they're coming. All right, they're in Spider-Man 3. And that is all. That is really all I wanted to say, was that do your research if you really care. Most people don't really care, especially when it comes to like entertainment news. They're just like, oh, tickle my fancy. Good night. But I care.
David, thank you for that. Honestly, that was really just ethics of journalism right there, and how to be a responsible news receiver, I guess, someone who reads or watches the news. All I want to say to wrap up this specific part of our Spider-Man rant is this is why they tell you to cite your sources in school, kids. But I'll give the final word here to our guest host, Kevin Buddha, saying it's highly unlikely. He wrapped everything up in 3 words.
Yeah.
David, what good news do we have though?
Yeah, guys. So, well, first thing that's not exactly good news, but it's news that is a direct reply to the Fandom Wire Adam Signor report that we're getting from Maguire and Garfield signing on. So Andy Signor, sorry, called him Adam. So ET Canada, this is the source coming for this article, is that Spider-Man studio head says that Maguire and Garfield is unconfirmed. And this is the thing. I do have this is actually, to me, somewhat positive news. Even though it's not confirmed, all the rep for Sony Studios said to them is those rumored castings are not confirmed. Doesn't say it's not happening. And it doesn't say much else. And in all honesty, I texted you this, Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
No shit. Of course the Sony rep isn't gonna be like, yeah, that's true. That's awesome. And to go back to the Fandom Wire's reporting, actually, to go back to the Andy Signor article, they did mention that like a part of their report was that Sony was really ticked off to hear that Electro leaked, and that's like that leak. It was just kind of like a secondary thought compared to Garfield and Maguire coming back. So, of course, a Sony rep isn't going to be like, oh, yeah, it's happening. What do you mean? Of course it's happening, because these studios, I mean, in all honesty, if they were to pop up in this movie, I don't think we'd ever hear. I highly doubt. I mean, this is just my opinion. And this is what I would personally want. I don't think we'd see them in any marketing. I don't think it'd be confirmed until the movie came out, and until you go in that theater. Hopefully, the theater, please, the theater.
Especially after Endgame and how they've done things, they want it to be a surprise.
And at this point, it's looking like it probably won't be, if it does happen, right? If it is true, and that would, I mean, on like, because you can see him on set. We get all these rumors. We already have Electro being casted as confirmed, which is, I mean, not confirmed, but basically it seems like it's happening.
Kind of confirmed because of Jamie Foxx and his Instagram,
which got deleted, and it's like, okay, I mean, I can't not get excited. I will say what's funny is the one post that they made Jamie Foxx delete was the one where it had a fan art poster of the Spider-Verse, like of Maguire, Holland. I can't get too excited because we don't know if it's happening. But anyway, so Sony rep says it's not confirmed. Thomas, what were your thoughts when you saw this?
Yeah, they'll never confirm it. What's the point? we're gonna move on to the good news, so David can like cool down. We're getting to the end of our show here.
Come to the finish line.
I just looked at these here, and today's the 19th, which means 5 days ago, Spider-Man 3 started filming.
Yeah. So that's basically our final. Thomas, I don't know if you can screen share. I'm gonna send you a link through
You can
our
screen
chat
share.
here.
You can screen share.
I wanted you to show that
You
Instagram.
can screen share.
Oh, I can screen share.
Yeah, down at the bottom, screen share next to the invite and the mic.
Got it. I'll do that in a moment. I wanted to comment on what you were just talking about. Yeah, so Spider-Man 3 is apparently filming in Queens. That's all we really know. What's funny too is that I think the Batman is now filming in Chicago. So that's a random aside. That's pretty exciting.
And we totally forgot to mention this earlier. They're using Mando tech on Batman now.
Yeah,
that's lit. But I have no idea what they're gonna do with it. The Batcave. Oh, holy shit!
They could do a lot. I mean, Mandalorian used it in like outdoor areas.
Everything.
Yeah. So
everything.
It's a great piece of technology. I think I personally believe that this is kind of the future, that technology, especially for big budget movies like this. And it's like, why not? You're saving money overall. It's great engineering. And yeah, Thomas.
David, I just opened that link, not the one you sent me, but the one that says the one from Murphy's Multiverse.
Oh, yeah.
Sony promises first look at Spider-Man 3 in 2020. Saith what?
Yeah, so that's right. I almost forgot about that piece of news. Why can't I find that? Oh yeah, right. There's the article. It got mixed up in my head here.
My.
Yeah. So a quick important note is that this actually comes from a Sony rep. Right. I actually really want to talk about this. Anyway, apparently Spider-Man 3. We went in the right order. Spider-Man 3 is now filming. And apparently we will be getting a look at Spider-Man 3 in 2020. So by the end of the year, which is awesome. All this could really be is a title, you know? I mean, it could be a title. It could be confirmed Craven. I know Holland is apparently going to be going on Jimmy Kimmel some point in the near future. Which is a typical kind of scheduled thing they do where they have Jimmy Kimmel, who is obviously for Disney, and this movie is being produced by Disney along with Sony, and he'll come on and they might give it, hey, Craven's Coming Home is the name or whatever it's going to be. And who knows? But yeah, anywho, I think please give me anything Spider-Man related. I'll be very happy.
We'll definitely so mild, 30 seconds of speculation here. We'll definitely have the title. Like we have to get that title because it comes out in a bloody year. So we'll get the title. Because of what happened with the Batman at Fandom having filmed 25 days, I think they're gonna try because they just started filming. In December is honestly a lot of days away. Normally they film 6 days a week with 1 day off.
Right.
So when is this event? Like, I don't actually genuinely know. Oh, also, nope, that was I was reading the wrong thing. I apologize. I don't know when this damn event is. That doesn't, all I know is it's December, sometime this December.
I mean, it does say so. The report is saying from Murphy's Multiverse is that this executive marketing director for Sony Pictures in Brazil, she said that we will be getting a first look at the film in December. So, first look, we could be getting a little bit of footage, a title, something. I'll eat it up. We'll be talking about it on this podcast. Can't wait. Maybe we need an emergency, like go live immediately and talk about it.
That's asking a lot for December.
Grab our phones. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, who knows? I don't know if we lost Thomas or if Thomas lost me. Oh, we lost Thomas. Okay, chat. I was trying to see what was going on there. So it's just me. So while I have your guys' attention, I really wanted to showcase a bit. Let's see if I can share my screen here. Sorry, guys. I don't know where Thomas went, but I am going to quickly try to show up. I hope all of you saw, or maybe you follow him, Jacob Batalon, who plays Ned in the Spider-Man home MCU verse. Thomas, you're back. What happened, brother?
I don't know about it. All right.
Sounds good. Honest,
angry.
Okay. I'm trying to share my screen here. I want to show off Ned's weight loss. I can't. It doesn't seem like it's letting me do it. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Is it sharing?
Yes. You can you see it on the screen?
I can see it. So Jacob Batalon, who plays Ned in the Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland and plays his best friend, he has lost some serious weight. He has been doing good in quarantine, man. Way better than I've been doing. I mean, he has lost some serious weight. I mean, if you guys saw him in Homecoming and in Far From Home, like he probably could have used a little weight loss, you know? I mean, even just health-wise, like he was a pretty big guy. And so, yeah, this is pretty awesome to see. I'm happy for him. I know people want to speculate, like, hey, like, are they going to put him in a fat suit for the movie? Like, nah, I think they could just say, like, Ned lost some weight. I mean, he doesn't look that drastically different. He just looks healthier and happier, honestly, man.
Yeah, there's no reason to put a guy in a fat suit. Like, that's fucking absurd. Excuse my language, but he lost weight. You can literally just be like, hey, Ned, man, like you it's like, oh yeah, like Ned, what'd you do?
Yeah.
What did you do to lose weight? I started working out. I wanted to get a girlfriend, like something like that.
Make that like a funny little thing.
Like in Parks and Rec.
Me.
In Parks and Rec, Andy Dwyer, Chris Pratt was like a fatter guy. He was bigger, and so when he came back after filming Guardians, obviously he was in shape. And they literally were just like, Andy, what'd you do to lose all that weight? He's like, I stopped drinking beer. That is all they said. And honestly, that's exactly like that was the final thing that helped him get over the hump when it came to his fitness. Was he dropped weight for 0 Dark 30, and he did it, as he says, the wrong way, which I've done that before too, so understand. And he's like, so this time I actually stopped drinking beer, and that was the hardest thing. Everything else is like kind of easy, but beer is beer. I love beer. And it's like, I understand that. You know what I'm saying? Like, respect. So yeah, Spider-Man. I'm so excited.
Spider-Man. Thank you all, for listening to my rant. I really appreciate it. I needed to get that off my chest. It's been actually a week since this report initially came out. So
it's been stewing. That's why I thought you'd be madder, because you haven't talked about it yet. But also, like, you were definitely more mad the other day, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I think I actually have cooled off a bit. And we've had a little more additions to the Spider-Man news. It hasn't just been that news. We had a little more talk about. So yeah. But hey, definitely clippable. Check out that clip whenever you can.
Yes. That is going to bring us up here to the end of our show. We have no questions in the comments. Thank you all for joining us. We were trying to keep this, and we're doing well. If we can wrap this up in 5 minutes, we'll do better than I thought we would.
Yeah. Because
136 was going to be my initial. I thought 96 minutes would be like the slowest. David, where can everyone find you on social media?
Yeah, yes, you can find me at my name, David Thompson, on Facebook, at David J. Thompson on TikTok and Instagram, and at David Thompson with 2 A's in the David on Twitter. I would recommend, if I was a person looking to follow me, follow my Twitter. I like to tweet a lot. It's my favorite social media. Go follow me there. The other ones, Thomas, what about you?
You can follow me on Facebook at Thomas Carter Rochester -actor, at Thomas Carter Rochester, all one word, no hyphens, no spaces, on Instagram, at TC Rochester Act. That is TC Rochester ACT on the Twitter. And of course, Life of Thor on YouTube, where in a mere couple weeks, Thor watches The Mandalorian season 2. Live. We won't be live. I'm not going to do it live. I've decided to just never sleep and live off coffee, and we're going to do it the old-fashioned way, because if I don't do it that way, I'll never sleep again. Like if I don't do it that way, I won't sleep because I'll be upset. So if I do it this way, I just won't sleep because I'll be working. If David plugged it, like if you follow me on Instagram, that's probably like my most active social media, I guess. I don't know. I tweet sometimes. I try to avoid Twitter because it just pisses me off.
Well, subscribe to Life of Thor for sure. Especially
Definitely
getting geared up for Mando season 2. Subscribe to Life of Thor. 100%.
There are interviews there. There's my reel there. If you want to, hire me, please. Hollywood. And of course, you can follow Lights Thunder Action Show right here live on our Facebook page, as well as at Lights Thunder Action on Instagram, LTA Podcasting on Twitter, Lights Thunder Action ! On YouTube, and of course, we are always live on the HWWS WebTV channel on YouTube. I blanked on what I was about to say next, David. David, what do you have to promote this week? Thank you, brain.
I don't have anything, but I hope I have something soon to promote. Wink. That is it.
That was spicy. As I said at the beginning of this month, Trenton Boone is a sophomore studying mathematics at Florida Tech. He's a brother in my fraternity. He has a grade 2 tumor called diffuse astrocytoma. I'm going to go ahead and post that GoFundMe link again right here in the comments. If you can just please share it. That is all I ask. I understand that not everyone can afford to donate. And if you can please share that, it would be most wonderful and gracious of you to help out his family at this time. Their goal is $10,000, and currently they're at $4,560 raised. So they're about halfway to their goal. And if you share it, your following and your friends and family will be able to see that. And coming up at the end of this month, I'll probably just keep promoting it because I don't have anything else to promote, and self-serving stuff just feels wrong.
That's awesome. Thomas, before we go, Mandalorian season 2, apparently a teaser is going to play on Monday Night Football. Do I preview it for you?
Yes.
Okay, I'll try.
I will
just be up early, but I'll try.
I mean, like if obviously my team's on, so I'm going to probably sleep on the couch tonight watching the game, that's good news. I have a couch, ladies and gentlemen. Huzzah! So if it comes on, I'm just going to mute it and walk away. So you're probably just going to screen it for me anyway in the morning. I mean, the first thing you're going to do when you wake up is watch the trailer. You know it.
That's true. I'll probably just go to sleep then wake up and watch it. Yeah, you're right.
And if I don't watch it tonight, you'll be up before me anyway. So
yeah, exactly.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we will be having our next show this Saturday because I'm not changing my schedule.
Yeah.
Because I need a day off, and that's going to be my Sunday. Fingers effing crossed, ladies and gentlemen. This has been episode 28 of Lights Thunder Action. We will catch you in 5 days.
Yeah, pretty soon, guys.
5
Get
days.
ready.
Wow.
Bye, everyone.